I'm gonna go with the team that went to the Super Bowl. I think the Chiefs are a team that could potentially fall off a cliff.
Yes,
we saw what happened.
Yes.
Jalen Moore. I don't know if he's gonna be the guy that can protect Mahomes. You get rid of Tooney, who's a good player. They bring back Hollywood Brown. They bring back Juju Smith-Schuster. You look at their offense, you're like, can you really just continue to like patch it on offense and really rely on your defense to carry you? They were 11-0 in one-score games. That's not going to happen again. Their best players are getting older. You talk about Kelce, Chris Jones.
Kelce looked really bad down the stretch last year.
Mahomes is going to be 30 this year. Not that Mahomes is. I think he's going to drop off a cliff, but he's not getting any younger.
I would love it.
So yeah, I just they've won the AFC West 9 straight times. They can't keep winning it. At some point, somebody's gonna overtake them.
My turn.
Eric, if you had to choose one of the 3 teams to overtake them for the division, who do you think? How would you stack them up right now?
Well, I guess I would go Chargers.
Yes.
And I'm actually going to go Raiders over the Broncos. I'm going to keep Broncos at 4. I'll go Chiefs 3.
You know what's crazy, Eric? I know everybody's really excited about the Broncos. I'm a little bit hesitant when it comes to that team. I will take them out of mine, and I will say they will not make the playoffs next year.
Okay.
When a team gets celebrated the way they've been really celebrating the Broncos this offseason, and Bo Nix, now teams are going to see it. There was a lot of games that were ticky-tacky, like the game against Cleveland where Jameis throws for almost 500 yards, had 3 touchdowns, but had 2 pick sixes. Like, there was just a lot of ticky-tack stuff that happened with Denver, and I just don't know if I'm sold on Denver. So I'll give that as one of my teams that I don't think make the playoffs next year.
Okay.
Vic, why don't you give us one of yours?
Mine's pretty easy, and they're the ones still looking for a quarterback, and it's going to be the Steelers. I just don't know where they go here. Ever since Ben Roethlisberger, retired, they've been looking for a quarterback, and now they're turning to Aaron Rodgers.
Right now it's Mason Rudolph.
Let's see if that's he won't be. And Louis Riddick keeps saying that that's why I wanted to ask Eric about it, because he keeps saying that kid Shook is going to go there. They're going to draft him if he's there at whatever number. I think it's 21 or 22.
Yeah, I think it's 21.
Yeah. So I would say it's the Steelers. Also, you're in a tough division with the Ravens, and part of the other thing I know I picked them last year not to make the playoffs as well, but look at that schedule, how bad it was at the end. It's just going to be the same thing next season. And so, and I guess even more tougher, now that they finished, I think the year before that they had finished 3rd, which that meant they had a 3rd place schedule. So it's going to be tough for the Steelers. But that'll be one team for sure that I'm gonna say won't make the playoffs next season.
I'm excited for this. Dan, give us one team that won't make the playoffs.
I have 2.
No. Give us one, and then we're gonna go back to Eric. And then we'll end it with you.
Okay. Well, both of my teams are NFC North, so don't touch any of the NFC North teams. I'll go with the first one. I think Are you trying to slander me right now? What are you doing? You're trying to be a Taurus right now? That's terrible. Everybody roots for Detroit. What's wrong with you? Have they not suffered enough? My God.
Gilberto doesn't.
No, he's a scumbag. What does he know? He thought the Vikings were going to go 3-14. We saw how that turned out.
What about the Raiders?
Oh, my God. Too many to pick, but I don't want to talk about Eric's Raiders right now because he's pretty high on them, so I don't want to talk about them right now. But I think, honestly, the Vikings are going to take a step back this year, honestly. I think they caught lightning in a bottle with Sam Darnold. You don't know what J.J. McCarthy is. You don't know how he's going to perform coming off his injury. I think the doctor's a viable candidate to go in there and surgically carve up these defenses. But, you just don't know. I think there's a lot of question marks for that offense. Like, I know they have weapons on there. I know they have talent, but I mean, if you can't get Justin Jefferson the ball, that's going to be a problem. So I'll go with the Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to be in danger of missing it.
Eric, one last one for you.
I'll go Bucks. Barely squeaked in last year. Good ones coming off the injury. That they're losing Liam Cohen, so they got to replace the OC. I like Bulls as the coach, and I think their defense. They got Reddick. I think that's going to help them. Pump up the pass rush a little bit. I don't know. I just think Baker's due for a slide. And I think Atlanta will be better now that Penix is starting the year.
He didn't look
as
bad.
The quarterback.
He didn't look bad.
He played pretty well.
Yeah.
But Raheem's under some pressure too. Like he needs to win there. And they're set up to win. So they got to finish it out and reclaim the NFC South.
Yeah. Vic, why don't you give us another one?
That was one of the teams that I looked at because that one makes sense. I'm trying to go through the teams. I know the Bills will make it.
The Ravens will make it. Texans.
Honestly,
I think the Rams are going to make it again just because of what they have
division.
there.
You have like 3 playoff teams in shitty divisions. Like that's
kind of
like.
I'll go out on a limb with one team. I'll say the Green Bay Packers do not make the playoffs.
Fuck! That's the one I told you I was going to go with.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dan. You go ahead.
Take
it. You take it. Sorry.
Son of a bitch. No, we'll just tag team it now. Not a LaFleur guy. I think the Bears are going to be better, so that might not be a sweep for them. Well, you'd think, but then I remember who the quarterback is, so I mean, we'll have to wait and see about that.
Beard fingers.
Not a LaFleur guy. I think at times they're too hot and cold. I don't know what type of direction they're moving in, so I just hate LaFleur's guts. So I'll go.
What about their number one fan?
Yeah, he's the worst. The cheating bastard. I need them to miss the playoffs so I can tell him to kiss my ass even more as he watches this to the postseason. That was another bet I paid over the weekend, by the way.
Oh.
We got wings and beers. I got greedy on both bets. That's what pisses me off. I got greedy. This is why I don't gamble.
It is.
But so I had to pay you out, and then I paid him out over the weekend. So,
okay, I'm gonna give you a team. I'll give you one, and I know that they're doing a lot of stuff, and a lot of people are high on this team. I'm gonna go with the Washington Commanders.
Oh,
I remember that division has a streak where the division winner has won. It's been a different winner each season now for I think 20 years now.
Yeah.
The Eagles just won it, so someone's gonna win it between the Giants or the Cowboys.
Oh yeah.
And so I just going off of that, I just think it's hard to kind of bring back that magic again. And eventually, second year quarterbacks usually go through a slump there. It's just gonna be everybody's gonna be gunning for them. It's just gonna be hard. I maybe the Eagles win that division again. And that's what keeps the Washington Commanders out. So I'm going to say the Commanders are not going to, or Gilberto's Commanders won't make the playoffs.
His Commanders all of a
By
sudden.
the way, Eric, I don't know if you know this. Gil jumped on and off that bandwagon 3 times last year.
Oh, yeah. It was hilarious.
Halfway through the year, he jumped on towards the middle. He kind of jumped off. Middle of the end of last season. Then he jumped on for the playoffs, and then he hopped right off as soon as they got blown out. And we got into it one day because the game where Jalen Hurts got out with a concussion and the Commanders came back and beat him. Mm-hmm. I told him if they play again, if Jalen Hurts stays in that game, they blow him out. He's like, there's no way. What happens in the NFC Championship, Dan?
I know. They got blown out.
There you go.
My boy was right.
Sometimes I know things. No, I'm kidding. No, but Gilbert was right on them halfway through the year. He's like, hey, they're going to get hot, and they did. And they were really –
he was on Jaden Daniels from the beginning too.
But I like what Vic said. It's going to be interesting to see if the game slows down for him. Teams are going to be able to scout for him. They play the AFC West, so that's going to be tough.
Not worried. Not worried.
For those teams. No, I'm talking about Jaden Daniels having to.
That's what I said.
You're not worried.
I'm not worried.
Yeah. Dan, you hear that, Eric? He's not worried.
I'm not worried.
Yeah. Washington's my pick to go to the Super Bowl. So so we'll see.
What about in the AFC?
Yeah. I need to look at the colors again. I don't know if red was in there.
Buffalo Bills.
Terrible. Dude, they can't even get past a hobbled Kansas City Chiefs team. What are we even talking about?
I
Those guys are a
mean,
bunch of bums.
At least they lost to the team that went to the Super Bowl.
Here we go. At least. Well, onlys and just and candies and nuts. Every day would be Unka Donka Fest if that was true.
You know what? I want to go with Houston so bad.
But they got a
Same.
crappy division.
So bad.
They're in a crappy division.
They're gonna make it. So,
Yeah.
but do you think that
I-
rule's gonna get passed, Eric? The divisional.
It should.
Even
It
if you
should.
win the division and you have a worse record than a wild card team, you could be the one, because that means the Chargers would have hosted the
Texans.
I think
Texans and then
you should get to host a game if you win your division. I think winning your division means something, even if your division is crap.
Eric says, "Get off his lawn, Dan."
That's
No,
right.
I hate that rule. I've always hated that rule. It's
Get off my lawn and get out of my Gran Torino.
no, that's a good movie reference. I like
Yeah.
that.